lot to go over in today's show here, folks, on this Tuesday. Beautiful Tuesday. Starting to get a little bit warmer here in the state of Michigan. Thank God here. We're going to get into the Detroit Lions injury front. Players who is in, players who is going to be out, who's going to be replacing those players. Very important for this game. Jonah Jackson, good news and bad news from him. We're going to talk about it. Lions versus San Francisco 49ers. What are the lines? What should we be thinking? How should we bet a little bit? 5 players to watch out for that I identified, I think, could be pivotal towards this game on Sunday. And the Detroit Lions are not done yet for this magical year. I don't think they are. They're going to keep on fighting here, folks. And we're fighting on Sunday, traveling to San Francisco for the NFC Championship to face the 49ers. And the Detroit Lions are underdogs by 7 points, heavy underdogs. I think they should be underdogs. I was thinking more 4 to 5 points. 7, it's a little bit high, so I would bet on the Lions to cover for sure. But, I mean, San Francisco, it's at home. I think they should be favored in that game because it's the home team. They're 7-point favorites, obviously. Total over is 51.5. It's going to be a prime-time game for the Detroit Lions. And you know how the Lions are in prime time. We love being on prime time. So 6:30 p.m., well, you know, if the Lions win the game, they're going to the Super Bowl. That's really it here. So this is the biggest game of franchise history. If the Lions win the game, we're going to the big game. That is for sure. So I got a question for you. Who do you have winning this game on Sunday? Do you got the Detroit Lions? Put DET in the comment section. Do you have San Francisco? Put SF. Let's get into a little bit of injury updates here. Jonah Jackson had surgery. He's not going to be playing on Sunday. But with that said, some good news here. He could play in the Super Bowl if the Lions advance to the Super Bowl. It's a minor surgery. Frank the Tank Ragnow had it, and he played after it, so Jonah Jackson could as well. But Dan Campbell's talking about Yoda. He says he stepped up. That was good to see. He went in there, and I think we had a 5-step drop, first play out of the gate, and he just went in there and did really good. Yoda's continued to get better really over the last 2 years. He's just kind of grown, and last time he played in Tampa, he was there for us. But I thought he did some really good things. Jonah and Brock Wright, we'll see. Doesn't look good for next week, but we'll see. Yeah, Jonah's not going to be playing in this game. With that said, Kyoto Wasaka will be the guy who's going to be the left guard for the Detroit Lions on Sunday. He's hit or miss. He can have a really good game or he can have a really bad game. Let's all hope he has a really good game. I thought he did all right on Sunday, being thrown in there. So if he can just do that, I think the Lions will be okay. But it does suck not having Jonah. Kalif Raymond could be playing on Sunday. He could. He got injured the same time Sam LaPorta did. His a little bit longer, the extent of the injury. With that said, he could be returning on Sunday. I would put him as a questionable. And look, he's not the number one guy for the Detroit Lions. He's not the biggest impact player, but man, he does make some big plays for the Detroit Lions in big moments. He's done that many, many times in Green Bay in the last year and throughout his time as a Detroit Lion. So we want him, obviously, and I want him to play in the championship game. He deserves it after everything that he's been through. In my personal opinion, Brock Wright will not be playing in this game on Sunday. Broke his arm. We'll see if Zach Ertz can get a couple play calls for that one for the Detroit Lions. You like saving some money? If you're going to the big game, get Game Time. Right now, if you plug in Vegas 100, you get $100 off your purchase to the big game. Game Time has killer deals, last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed, and it gives you the ability to stop stressing and start getting hyped for the fun that you'll have. Again, put in Vegas 100 to get $100 off your purchase to the big game. This offer is available for all users, not just new users. And if you look in the middle screenshot, by the way, of this app, it's a fantastic feature. You can see the area like a 3D live photo, and that's the picture of the big game where you would be sitting. It's that freaking easy. So it's real simple, folks. Go ahead, download Game Time right now. Plug in Vegas 100 to get $100 off to the big game. Again, you go to the redeem code section, plug in Vegas 100 to get $100 off your purchase to the big game. You got to have an account. You got to have the app. Terms do apply. But the information right now is going to be in the description and comment section of this video. If you're buying tickets to the big game, make sure you're using Game Time. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. We talk about depth, the importance of building the depth, and this is why. As you're making your run, there's a couple injuries, and you got to have the depth players able to step in. The importance of being a well-rounded football team for the all 53, the Lions have done it. And that gives me confidence that they can go to San Francisco and win the game. So I got a question for you. What's your confidence level for the Lions on Sunday? 1 being 0 confidence, basically, you think they automatically lose. 10 being that you think this team can win. So let me know in the comments below on this one. Let's continue on here and talk about the Detroit Lions and the importance of what to watch for in this game on Sunday. And I got 4 players that I think that we should really pay attention to. One is C.J. Gardner-Johnson. First off, we don't know if Deebo Samuel is going to be playing in this game on Sunday. But him and C.J. Gardner-Johnson going back and forth all year long. And Deebo Samuel is the biggest playmaker on their football team. To me, he's up there with Trent Williams as the biggest playmaker. And guess what? C.J. Gardner-Johnson loves talking trash, but he also backs it up. Him and Baker Mayfield went back and forth, and guess who got the interception? C.J. Gardner-Johnson did. Guess who got the better of it? C.J. Gardner-Johnson did. So the confidence level is there for, obviously, our team. But if Deebo plays, can C.J. Gardner-Johnson do it again? Can he slow down the guy whom he's talking trash to? If he can, the Lions are going to make the Super Bowl. That's if Deebo plays. If he doesn't play, well, we're looking for C.J. Gardner-Johnson to just make some turnovers. But it's huge. It's huge. Next player here is Jared Goff. Jared Goff needs to have the biggest game of his career. He is basically going back home, right? He's a California boy. He was a fan of the 49ers growing up. It's going to be beautiful weather there. He's going to have family there. Jared Goff is good when the weather is good. I know a lot of people say he's not good when it's outside. I think it's more of the weather is bad outside. It's like the weather's fine. There's no different than being in a dome. If it's the wind is down and it's sunny and it's nice and normal temperature. And if, from what we're hearing, 65 degrees, nice and sunny out. So he needs to have the biggest game of his career, not make mistakes. Make the big plays like he has been doing in the playoffs. And if he wins this game, to me, he's already the greatest quarterback the Detroit Lions have ever had. And I know that may be controversial. People will say Matthew Stafford. But when you advance to the NFC Championship game and you've made his clutch moments that he has done, I'm putting him as number 1. That is my personal opinion. You can disagree, and that's fine. But if he makes the Super Bowl, he has to be number 1. There's just no way around it. If he doesn't make mistakes and he gets us there, that'd be a massive accomplishment. Next player on my list that needs to have a gigantic game here is Cam Sutton. Now, he's taken a lot of heat as of late in the last month because his play has been down. But I'm going to agree with some analysts saying he's going against number 1s. We're talking about the best of the receivers. And so, of course, he's going to get thrown his way. And I think really the Lions have devised this as bend but don't break. He's going to, the wide receiver, we know this. The last month and a half, wide receivers, again, 150, 200 yards, but we're still winning. So that is the philosophy right now. But Cam Sutton, just make a couple plays. We know where you're going to get beat, and it is what it is. We know this. But just make a couple plays, and if he does, just a couple knockdowns, maybe 2 third-down stops from the whole game, that would be gigantic. We don't need that many stops. We just need a couple. The Lions do that. The Lions can win the game. So Cam Sutton, we signed you in free agency. You need to have the best game of your career. This is it, man. This is it. You can do it. We believe in you. Get it done. Jamison Williams is the next player on my list. I feel like they're going to do probably a good job doubling St. Brown, and every team's doing that. We know what St. Brown can do. He's always the biggest contributor. I think he'll get over 100 yards. He's going to do what he does. But we need to have somebody else break out. And how about Jameson Williams? How about now we have the ability to exploit the secondary of the 49ers. They're not the greatest secondary in the world. I feel like they got hell of a linebackers. They got a pretty good defensive line, even though it's been lackluster as of late. Still really got some big names there. But the secondary can be had. How about Jameson Williams? Been stepping up all in the playoffs the last 5, 6, 7 weeks. Do it in this game on Sunday. And last and absolutely not least, maybe the most important player. And you're going to laugh when I put this player in here. You may laugh. I don't think it's funny, though. I think he could be the most important player. Frank Ragnow. He got injured this last game. Without Frank Ragnow, he helps out Jared Goff with seeing. He's helping these guards who are struggling a little bit. After we got Usaka in there. He's dinged up. He does so much. If he can stay healthy throughout this whole game, the Lions can win the game. He's that good. The injury status, I know he'll play. He'll play the game, but we're talking about 60 minutes of a lot of fighting that's going to be taking place in a physical team like San Francisco. But if he can stay healthy throughout the whole game, the Lions have a legit shot to win the game. And we love Frank Ragnow here in Detroit. Everybody loves Frank Ragnow. He is a guy who needs to step up, and I think he will step up. I think he's that type of guy, and the Lions have a shot at a Super Bowl. Who is your 5 players that we need to look out for? Who is it? Blow up your names in the comment section. With that said, folks, adios.